Hello there, you're now watching TVS News at 5. I'm Hari Zainuddin and let's begin with our top stories. Ports in Sarawak are given the notice to be prepared to undergo modernization through innovation and the adoption of new technologies. This will cater to Sarawak's plan in becoming a high-income state by 2030, where ports will be playing more important roles.
State Deputy Chief Minister Dato' Ahmad Douglas Oga Ambas said Sarawak will be exporting more food products in the future, a crucial industry for developed states. The process of modernization will also incorporate a new management style whilst enhancing all essential facilities. He then stated that ports in Sarawak holds a lot of potential to become as competitive as ports in developed countries. Uga visited the Senari port on Friday after he was recently appointed as the Ministry of Infrastructure and Ports Development. Also present were his assistant ministers, Dato' Majang Renggi and Aidil Lariwu.
Gabungan Party Sarawak GPS victory in securing 76 seats throughout the state during the 12th state election clearly shows that the people in the state want Sarawak to be governed by the coalition. Parti Pesaka Bumi Putra Bersatu PBB Vice President Dr. Anwar Rapai said Sarawakians made a wise choice as the coalition always aims to protect the well-being and future of the people, in addition to its capability in further developing the state more rapidly.
Dr. Anwar, who is also Nangka State Assemblyman, attributed his success in retaining the seat in the recent state election with a majority of more than 10,000 votes to the hard work of all Nangka PBB members over the years. He added, the big win was a huge mandate entrusted by voters, which needed to be fulfilled as best as possible over the next 5 years. Anwar said PBB is open to young people within Nangka State constituency to get more involved in politics through the party and invited those within the Cebu community to join PBB to strengthen and empower the party in Cebu.
Now, Minister for Utility and Telecommunication Dato' Julaihi Narawi commended the staff of Kuching Water Board and the cooperation given in fulfilling their responsibilities throughout the COVID-19 pandemic period. Julaihi added that Kuching Water Board plays a vital role in ensuring that clean and sufficient water supply needs are met, especially in Kuching City and the surrounding areas.
Dan walaupun dalam suasana norma-norma baru, tetapi saya juga ingin mengambil peluang ini untuk mengucapkan setinggi-tinggi tahniah dan syabas kepada warga Lembaga Air Kuching kerana walaupun dalam suasana kita berdepan dengan pandemik COVID-19, saya yakin telah dapat menunaikan tanggungjawab dalam suasana SOP yang begitu ketat sekali, ya.
He said so during the Kuching Water Board Appreciation Night on Friday. Meanwhile, regarding the construction of a new water treatment plant in Landeh, he said as a newly elected minister, he would require more information from the Kuching Water Board.
Saya baru hadir di majlis penghargaan pada malam ini. So, I think what I will do later on, saya akan mendapat taklimat yang lebih terperinci daripada lembaga air Kuching untuk mengetahui perancangan dan seluruh termasuk yang dimaksudkan oleh saudari.
Julaihi expressed his confidence in Kuching Water Board's plan in the event of a flood disaster in Sarawak, especially in Kuching area. Also present during the event were both Assistant Ministers of Utility and Telecommunication, Dato' Liwan Lagang and Dato' Dr. Abdul Rahman Junaidi.
Prior to hosting any event, activity, gathering, or social interaction at venues, buildings, or facilities within the jurisdiction of Kuching South City Council or MBKS, written approvals from the council are necessary.
MBKS in a statement said applicants seeking permits must follow directions, guidelines and standard operating procedures SOPs provided from time to time by the State Disaster Management Committee STMC, the Minister of Health MOH or the Council. The public are reminded that events held should not be political in nature and are subject to the Council's approval. Sarawak has just transitioned into Phase 4 of the National Recovery Plan (NRP) as announced by Senior Defence Minister Dato Sri Hishamuddin Hussein on January 3, 2022. SOPs and the guidelines for organising mass events can be found on the STMC's website.
Right, more than 30 projects covering infrastructure, farm roads and drainage under the Rural Transformation Program (RTP) slated for the Mambong State constituency this year have been approved.
Assistant Minister of Transport Dato Dr. Jerib Susil said the list will be issued by the Surian and Kuching Division Residence Officers and the projects will be supervised by the Department of Irrigation and Drainage DID Sarawak. On the drainage works, Susil said a total of 100,000 ringgit had been allocated to build new drains in Kampong Mambong. It was warned earlier that mud floods would hit some houses at the lower land in the village, and although the situation so far had not been severe, it has caused concern amongst the residents.
The Malaysian Meteorological Department, or Met Malaysia, has issued an alert for continuous heavy rain which is expected to occur at 10 areas in Sarawak from January 11 to January 13. Met Malaysia announced on their official Twitter account that the areas expected to experience the heavy rain are Kuching, Serian, Semarahan, Sri Aman, Betong, Serike, Sibu, Muka, Kapit and Bintulu. Under the department's warning system, the yellow alert level indicates that
跟随4位不同舞蹈背景的舞者，体验沙劳越当地的传统文化、美食和舞蹈。在这一集中，我们将去到沙劳越马当的 Sri Maha Mariamman 寺庙，体验印度传统文化。舞者们能在一天结束前学会这印度传统舞蹈吗？让我们一起尽情期待。
Okay, so.
Thank you for staying with me. Apologies on the technical difficulties before. Now back to the same story. The Malaysian Meteorological Department, or Met Malaysia, has issued an alert for continuous heavy rain, which is expected to occur at 10 areas in Sarawak from January 11 to January 13. Met Malaysia announced on their official Twitter account that the areas expected to experience the heavy rain are Kuching, Serian, Semarahan, Sri Aman, Betong, Serike, Sibu, Muka, Kapit and Bintulu. Under the department's warning system, the yellow alert level indicates that continuous rain is expected to occur from a day to 3 days. Those residing in flood-prone areas are advised to stay on high alert at all times. Now, all 79 Malaysians comprising of diplomats and their dependents residing in Kazakhstan are safe following the ongoing violence and protests in the country. The Foreign Ministry in a statement said they are closely monitoring the latest development in Almaty to ensure the safety and well-being of all Malaysians registered with the embassy in Nur Sultan are being taken care of.
The 79 Malaysians residing in the Central Asian countries are made up of diplomats and their dependents at the embassy, as well as at the Trade and Tourism Malaysia offices in Almaty. The embassy had advised them to give utmost priority to their personal safety and security, avoid protest areas, and abide by instructions issued by the relevant local authorities. The Foreign Ministry said Malaysians who require consular assistance in Kazakhstan may contact the Embassy of Malaysia in Nur Sultan, Kazakhstan at the number or email shown. On January 2, protests erupted in the city of Zanauzen in Mangistau, Kazakhstan over an increase in the price of liquefied petroleum gas (LPG). The protests then spread to other areas of the country before going nationwide. Following the unrest, Kazakhstan President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev announced a state of emergency in commercial capital Almaty and the oil-rich Mangistau region on January 4. Anadolu Agency reported that 26 protesters had died and 18 others injured in the anti-government demonstrations to date. At least 18 security officers had also lost their lives in the violence.
Right, moving on. The Bantuan Keluarga Malaysia (BKM) or the Malaysian Family Assistance Program is expected to benefit more than 9.6 million recipients in 2022 with an allocation of 8.2 billion ringgit. This represents an increase from 8.6 million recipients with an allocation of 7 billion ringgit under the Bantuan Prihatin Rakyat (BPR) initiative in 2021.
Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said the government wants to ensure that those who are eligible and still not in the government database can register and apply. He added that to ensure eligibility, the data will be cross-checked against data from other government agencies. As of January 7, 2022, the Inland Revenue Board had received a total of 1,429,262 new BKM applications and updates. Of this, 355,071 were new applications, while 1,124,191 were requests for updates. The BKM registration is open from January 1 to January 31, 2022, and nearly 95% of new applications and updates to date were made online.
The next generation of 5G wireless technology is expected to open a future with new and exciting possibilities designed for unlocking real-time decision-making and revolutionizing user experiences. It is perceived as a game-changer with a speed that can reach up to 100 times faster than its predecessor. However, airline industries are not keen on the said technological advancement. Heated debates on the issue between telcos and airline companies in the United States have been ongoing for weeks over the potential impact of 5G on aircraft, with the concern about interference on the airline safety systems. So, does 5G really pose a threat to airline safety?
Telco giants Verizon Communication and AT&T have come to their consensus to a 2-week delay in their 5G rollout. In early 2021, the U.S. auctioned mid-range 5G bandwidth to mobile phone companies in the 3.7 to 3.98 GHz range, also known as the C-band, creating concerns to the U.S. aviation industry as they warn of the risk that it may disrupt flight equipment. For background, the airline industry uses radar altimeters to measure altitude, which helps lower the risk of accidents or collisions by giving an accurate reading of the proximity to the ground. Airlines companies have expressed their concern that there is not enough of a buffer for the 5G frequencies, warning that the issue could disrupt up to 4% of daily flights. The rollout of 5G services elsewhere, on the other hand, has broadly gone ahead without airline safety concerns. For instance, the European Union, the EU, has set standards in 2019 for 5G frequencies in the 3.4 to 3.8 GHz, where airline radar altimeters operate in the 4.2 to 4.4 GHz. In South Korea, the 5G mobile communication frequency is 3.42 to 3.7 GHz band. However, so far there has been no report of interference with radio waves since the commercialization of 5G in April 2019.
And that will be all the time that we have for the 5 p.m. news. Be sure to tune in to TVS Nightline at 11:30 p.m. tonight for more updates on the current affairs. Once again, I'm Hari Zainuddin. It's been a pleasure.